So now please take a look at your screen. This United Center security guard from the 90s, the unlikely star of The Last Dance on Sunday night, taking Michael Jordan's money, beating him in pitching quarters, and this man and his unreal mullet celebrating with the Jordan shrug in epic fashion, one of the many characters this well-done docuseries has introduced us to. And now let's talk to the man who put this thing together. This is part one of our conversation with Jason Hehir, the Newton native. How are you today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Celie, you're doing amazing as well. I
Make
can
sure
tell.
to say hi to mom and dad right now.
Yeah, right?
I had all my Newton friends, I had mom and dad and all my relatives in Hingham and everybody else who drops their eyes.
I have to ask you, what made you want to pursue such a ginormous project like this?
The offer. This is
good answer.
An opportunity like that to tell a story like that. It's the holy grail for me of sports stories and of pop culture stories of my lifetime. Michael's probably the most significant pop cultural icon of my lifetime. Certainly was, according to my walls in my childhood bedroom, the most significant figure in my life when I was a kid. So when they approached me about this 4 years ago, they first started talking to me about this, and I did everything I could to put myself at the front of the line.
Yeah, I was going to say no Celtics posters on the wall.
Plenty of Celtics posters too, but I think every kid of that era was a fan of their hometown team, and then they were also a Jordan fan.
Definitely,
he was the common denominator in all sports fandom.
Yeah, you can definitely understand that. So last night we got to see a totally different side of Michael that not a lot of people have gotten to see. He was very open, very candid, very honest. So how are you able to do that with him on some hard subjects like his gambling issues and that Republicans can buy sneakers too, quote? How are you able to get those feelings, those raw emotions out of him?
Michael's a talkative guy. And an open guy and a proudly honest guy. He's pretty forthcoming. And it's not like I have some kind of special relationship with him. I had spent a little bit of time with him a couple of times before we rolled cameras. His handlers, his closest advisors were very smart, and they put me in front of him a few times so that we could at least develop a little bit of a rapport, and he could trust me in the story that I wanted to tell, and we could discuss some of the things that we want to discuss ahead of time. But he, from the get-go, said, "You can ask me anything you want. I'm gonna tell the truth." I sent him not the questions, but topics just to jog his memory, because a lot of these games, happened 25, 30 years ago, some of them. So I just wanted to give him an idea of, like, we're going to be discussing this series in this interview or this. And one of the times he said to me as we were sitting down, I saw the email, I didn't even read it. "You can ask me anything you want, I'll tell you the truth." And luckily he has a photographic memory of all the game action. And then everything else is just him speaking from the heart. So he was forthcoming from the outset.
That's sick. What was your favorite MJ story that didn't make the documentary?
Probably a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, we interviewed him for 8 hours. So and some of these things, I remember I was home in Newton last summer, and my dad and I just popped open a bottle of wine and we watched the raw interview on our TV at home in Newton, just watched the interview. And he's so compelling that could be an episode itself, is just listening to Michael answer questions for an hour about a wide range of topics. There were a lot of stories from his youth that didn't make it because we had so much business to get to in those first couple of episodes to establish the Bulls and the other characters on the team and the conflict that was going on between the team and management. But really his formative years are fascinating, particularly his emergence as a high school star. He was not on anybody's radar. He went to the UNC's camp as a kid, and immediately caught the eye of Dean Smith and Roy Williams, who's now the head coach at UNC. And Dean Smith wanted to keep him a secret. He didn't want Michael to go to 5-star, which was the best camp in the country, because he didn't want the rest of the country to find out who this kid Mike Jordan from Wilmington, North Carolina was. He wanted to have him all to himself. So Roy Williams was sent there with Michael to shadow Michael everywhere he went and protect him from other coaches who were trying to come in and recruit Michael themselves. There's just a lot of stories from his upbringing, and then the upbringings of other guys too. I mean, each one of these characters, it was so laden with incredible characters, that roster, that we could have done a documentary about any one of these people. And indeed, we do dedicate or devote a lot of time in each of the first 4 episodes to our main 4 characters, who are Michael, Scotty, Dennis, and Phil. But you saw Tony Kukoc in episode 5. You'll see Steve Kerr's backstory coming up in episode 9. We still have a lot of character story to mine there.